I have very, very good relationships with a lot of people, a lot of Hispanic people. We're talking about it. We're going to get rid of the bad ones. The bad ones are going to be out of here fast. And you know there are plenty of bad ones, gang members, gang leaders.
Sure,
you
absolutely.
look at Los Angeles, you see what's happening.
Right.
They're going out fast. They're going to be out of here so fast your head will spin. As far as the rest, we're going to go through the process like they are now, perhaps with a lot more energy. And we're going to do it only through the system of laws.
Okay. Good. Now, I want to play you...
And by the way, Bill, that are in existence.
Donald Trump says he's going to follow the law, but with a lot more energy than President Obama. Joining me to discuss, former Arizona Governor Jan Brewer. Governor, thanks for joining me. Now, listen, a lot of people are going to debate whether or not this is an evolution or a flip-flop or just, you know, something Donald Trump has been saying, but he's fine-tuned it more recently. What I want to ask is, as a governor who had a real serious issue with illegal immigration, how do you feel about the idea of not deporting illegals unless they've committed crimes? In other words, some form of path to citizenship or letting them stay here?
Well, I believe, Charles, that Mr. Trump understands the issue and that we need to get our border secured. The bottom line is that border gets secured and we go through the process of letting immigrants into our country with vetting and they abide by the rules. There's no problem with that. The problem is that to resolve and solve this very complicated issue, until our border is secured, all these other things can't take place. It's like my nephew told me one time, it's like having your faucet broken and running over the sink and you run to get a mop and mop it up. No, you turn the water off and then you mop it up. Okay. That's what we need to do at the border. And we're not going to put up with these sanctuary cities. And Donald understands and he listens. I'm glad he's speaking to the Hispanic community because collectively together we need to solve this problem, but it needs to be done.
Okay, let's fast forward. President Trump is inaugurated in January of next year. And let's say fall 2018, the wall is up. It's big. It's beautiful. It's impenetrable. Now what do we do with the 11 million illegals in the country?
Well, and that, of course, is a big question. I mean, how do you deal with them? And that is something that President Obama, along with Congress, along with the American people, all of us together, Hispanics and Afro-Americans and everybody, to find a solution of what we're going to do with these people. Certainly, if they're criminals, they're going to be deported, unlike what President Obama did. He would let them right out of prison and let them come right back into our country, as we have seen evidence of over and over and over again. And we need to make sure that we don't have the drop houses and the extortion and the money that it costs us.
Right.
When I was governor, it cost me $1.6 billion, Charles, a year for the health care, the incarceration, and the education. It's outrageous. That problem needs to be addressed. Mr. Trump has listened to the people. He's listening to people continuously. He's got himself with great staff, and he will solve the problem. And that's all I ask. It's a breath of fresh air.
Well, I do want to get back to the money angle on this because before, for a long time, a lot of people wanted to just, hey, it's just too much of a financial burden. You know, people come, they have there's the situation with the anchor babies and all those sort of things. You just mentioned the numbers. We flashed some on the screen. Even from an economic point of view, a lot of folks said it's just a lot smarter to at least enforce, deport a lot of people, more than just the criminals, but a lot who seem to be straining the system. There are so many places in this country barely making it, and where illegals actually have greater benefits than people born in this country. I mean, that's not going to be easy to reconcile, I understand, but that was a promise that a lot of people were hoping for.
Well, and I'm looking forward to when he does make his policy statement on it and what the solution is that he's going to present to the American people, because people do want the border secured. They're tired of all this illegal immigration coming into our country, including all the criminal elements that ends up in our jails. But it's a difficult, complicated issue. But we've got to stop the problem so it doesn't get any larger. I mean, we've got 11 to 15 million people here, probably illegal people that are working, families, babies. It's a terrible situation that has been neglected. And
I agree.
We finally got a president. We finally got a president that's willing to work on it and listen to us and come up with a solution. And that's what Donald Trump does. Well, he finds solutions to problems.
Let me ask, because you talked about sanctuary cities coming out of this. Would a Trump administration have the power or the ability to somehow force these sanctuary cities, because there are hundreds of them, to get rid of these, you know, roll up the red carpet and get rid of these criminals and make it easier for all of us to make this an easier situation to grapple with?
Well, we have a lot of federal laws, I think, between the president and the Congress that they would come up with that solution. Everybody understands that sanctuary cities are a terrible situation.
They are.
It's you know, it's outrageous. Who would have ever thought 20 years ago that we would have this arrangement?
It's
that
amazing.
If you're legal and if you're a criminal, then you can be safe in a city.
Yeah, and you're illegal in this country to begin with.
I mean, that's more than our rights, Charles.
It is. I agree, 1,000%.
That's more than our rights.
Governor Brewer, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, see you soon.
Help's on the way.
Okay.